Hi, I'm Michelle and welcome to the Snugglery. Today I'm so excited to announce and brag about my newest design, this little guy who I'm calling the Better Sweater. Yeah, that's right, better. Because with this sweater design, I think I've solved a lot of the common pitfalls of crocheted sweaters. So do you want to hear what some of them are? Number one, weight. If you've crocheted wearable pieces before, you know that there is a trade-off with getting that knit look stitch, but also having a lightweight material. So like single crochet better resembles that little knit stitch, but single crochet is much more dense. So it gives you this heavy, thick piece that sometimes doesn't just drape the way you'd like. You can do more lacy stitches or double crochet, but then you lose the look of those tight stitches. So my solution? The linen stitch, which is a beautiful adaptation of the single crochet stitch. Rather than working into every stitch, it's basically single crochet chain one, and on every row you work your next single crochet into the chain space. And if that makes no sense, then that's where the video tutorials are coming in. But just know that it makes this knit look texture that is also loose and drapey and really wears like knitted fabric. So that is just one way that this sweater is better. It drapes and wears and feels, in my opinion, just like a knitted sweater, but this is done entirely in crochet. The second pitfall of crocheted sweaters that this one solves is seams. Not just seaming, like seaming pieces together at the end of your work, because we know we can solve that with working in the round. But what does working in the round do with crochet? It gives you a seam from where you join your rounds together with slip stitches. Not the better sweater. This entire sweater is worked in spirals. There is no slip stitch join for rounds. So if you look all around the sweater, even the body, there's no seam. Well, there is very minimal seaming, but that's just in the underarms at the very end, like 10 stitches or so. So, practically seamless in every way. The other thing that makes this sweater great, no tight foundation chains around your neck or around the sleeves or around the body, because we never have a foundation chain around any of the openings of the sweater, because it's worked from the bottom up. So you start with this little slip stitch cuff and then work the sleeve and body around the edge of the cuff. And when the sleeves and body are the length that we need them to be, we join the sleeves and work a bottom up yoke in kind of a classic bottom up round yoke that's really common in knitting, but you never see it in crochet. And so that's kind of where I was inspired to give this sweater a try. So that the neckline under this little cuff here is the last row of your sweater. It's not a foundation chain. So you never get that constricting foundation chain around any of the openings of the sweater. That has happened to me, where I worked a piece and all the dimensions fit and worked, but when I tried to put it over my head, oh no, that foundation chain was way too tight. Like, we know they have no stretch to them usually, so this sweater solves that problem completely. And then some of the nitpicky details about this sweater I personally think are just fabulous. For example, because we work from the bottom up, the stitches are going the right way. What does that mean? If you were to work the linen stitch from the top down, your stitches would look like this. See? They're like literally upside down. But since we work from the bottom up, all the stitches are running right side up. And they just look like happy little V's, happy little knits, but in a crocheted sweater. And how about these cuffs? Also, the most perfect knit look crocheted ribbing you've ever seen, huh? That part's done with slip stitches. And not to mention the trendy oversized fit, the popular balloon sleeves. It just has everything. It is just a better sweater. I'm so in love with this design. And just to make sure I'm doing this design justice, I'm going to have sizing instructions from toddler to 2XL. And I'm going to have two versions of this pattern available in this worsted weight yarn and also in a lighter DK weight yarn, like the prototype I have here. I made a little baby version of the sweater. This is very much a prototype. None of the stitch counts are right, but you get the idea. So a DK weight and a worsted weight version. Now I have to mention this will be a paid pattern. And I know not all of you like to buy patterns, but I will also be sharing 3 very helpful and informative videos about the trickier points of this pattern, because I did some things here that I really don't see in crocheted sweaters very often. I'll show you how to start a sleeve or a sweater from the cuff up. I'll show you how to work this linen stitch pattern in a spiral. I'll show you the coolest part, which is how we join the sleeves to the body of the sweater to finish the yoke. And then finally, I'll show you how to add this matching cuff on the end. So make sure to subscribe if you're interested in seeing all of that. And I'll have links to where you can purchase this pattern down below so you can get your copy and be ready to follow along when the tutorials come out. So thank you so much for watching and for listening to me brag about my new favorite sweater, and I hope you'll love it too. I'll see you next time. Bye!